The statue was not supposed to wake. Her name was never meant to be spoken. For 1,000 years, she held back the void alone. One human made a single mistake, and the galaxy discovered why humanity is feared. The ruins of Velarim had stood silent for a millennium, its towering spires wrapped in vines and forgotten by the galaxy. Dr. James Reeves brushed dust from an ancient inscription, his translation device struggling to parse the dead language. Around him, his archaeological team documented the site, but James couldn't pull his attention away from the statue at the temple's heart. She was magnificent, carved from a single slab of midnight blue stone that seemed to drink in the light. Her features were humanoid, yet unmistakably alien: high cheekbones, elongated ears, eyes closed in eternal rest. Her hands were raised mid-gesture, robes flowing like frozen water. Every detail was flawless, down to individual strands of hair. "Too perfect," James murmured, running his scanner across the surface. No tool marks. No chisel scars. Just seamless, impossible perfection. The inscription at her feet finally resolved. "Here stands Lirith, last guardian of the Veil, who chose stone over surrender. Speak not her name, lest the curse renew." James frowned. Every civilization had its superstitions, but something about this warning felt urgent, real. He photographed the text and circled the statue again. In the fading light, her expression seemed less serene than sorrowful. "Lirith," he whispered, testing the name. The statue blinked. James staggered backward, heart hammering. The team was too far away to hear his shout. Cracks spidered across the stone like a breaking mirror, blue light bleeding through the fissures, growing brighter with every heartbeat. The stone shattered. A woman stood where the statue had been, gasping as if surfacing from a deep ocean. Her skin glowed faintly. Her eyes, now open, swirled with galaxies. She collapsed. James lunged forward on instinct, catching her before she hit the floor. "Impossible," he breathed. Her eyes locked onto his. Confusion flickered, then clarity, then horror. "You spoke my name." Her voice rang like crystal chimes. After 1,000 years of silence, a human spoke my name. "I didn't know," James said. "The warning," she replied softly, "was to protect them. Not me." She pushed herself upright, hands trembling. "I was the guardian. When the void spawn came, I drew them into myself and became stone to imprison them. For a millennium, I held them in stasis." Her gaze burned with ancient pain. "By awakening me, you have awakened them." The ground trembled. Panicked shouts echoed from the ruins. "I'm sorry," James said helplessly. "How do I fix this?" Lirith rose to her full height, power crackling around her like lightning. "You cannot," she said. Then paused. "But perhaps. In 1,000 years, I learned something. The void spawn feed on fear, on isolation. They could not comprehend my sacrifice. They have no word for guardian in their language." She studied him. "What does that have to do with me?" James asked. "Everything." She placed a glowing hand against his chest. "You caught me when I fell." A stranger across time and species showed kindness without hesitation. The temple shook violently. Shadows writhed at the edges of James's vision. "They have never encountered humanity," she said, light intensifying. "They do not know your reckless compassion, your stubborn hope." "Show them," she whispered. "Show them why humans are the galaxy's most dangerous creatures. Not because you wage war, but because you refuse to let anyone face the darkness alone." James took her hand. "Then let's introduce them to humanity." Together, the archaeologist and the awakened guardian turned toward the emerging void. And for the first time in 1,000 years, the void spawn learned fear.